There he is.
What up?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Nice.
I'm making the world reveal, Meredith. Of I decided to just buzz my head while we're in this period of time. You see this? Look at that.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Low maintenance though, and I'm sure you're going a little stir crazy, so you need something to do, right?
I know. I should show you the evolution of the haircut photos were hilarious because I just had to have Andrea do it. But I was like, you know what? If you're ever gonna do this, now's the time, and now I don't have to worry about it.
You can do it. Get a feel for it. If you like the look, keep it. If not, it'll grow back by the time you're working again.
100%. It may grow back 11 times over by the time we get to work again.
Oh my God, so crazy. You know what?
Yeah.
How long have you been quarantined now? You're actually not allowed to go outside, right?
Yeah, so basically, you know, once the Nets players tested positive, we kind of I mean, it's funny because like who enforces it other than yourself, you know? But yes,
it's for the public good. So
yeah, exactly.
If you're a human being, you're going to stay inside.
Exactly, which is exactly what I've done. So basically, I got home not this past Thursday, but I got home Thursday. What day was it? It was, I don't know the date, but whatever. The day after the NBA season was suspended, you know, because I was doing that game in Dallas, and I got home, and right away, even though I hadn't had any contact with anyone, I was kind of like, you know what, like I've been traveling a lot, I'm gonna really basically quarantine on my own anyway, and then you know, at the beginning of the next week, we got the Nets news, and then it was like, hey, anyone who was part of the traveling party at any point, you know, should self-quarantine. So yeah, I've just been hanging in the apartment, you know, just it's pretty crazy.
Do you have supplies, or what have you been doing? How did you get all your supplies?
Yeah, so a lot of Amazon, Whole Foods, deliveries. Just had the guy, like any kind of deliveries, we've had them just like leave it in the elevator, you know, and that's it. And then and then we actually, like in anticipation, I ordered like a bunch of stuff that, like a bunch of like different protein bars and, you know, granola and stuff that I thought could last for a while. So between that, we've actually made out okay, gratefully.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Jack Curry of the Yes Network is calling me.
Oh man, I think you should answer. See what's
dial it in?
Yeah. So make sure everything's okay.
Hey, Jack Curry, I'm doing an Insta Live with Ryan Ruocco right now. You're live on the Gram. Would you like to say hello?
Meredith, double M, double R, Ryan.
What up, Jack?
I'm doing well. I did not expect to be a guest on this in this interview, though. I don't want to interrupt. What's the best question that so far?
Oh, we just got started here. So he was talking about his quarantine so far.
Yeah.
So he was filling me in a little bit.
I think it's obviously an adjustment for all of us, and it's an hour-to-hour adjustment.
100%. Can I call you back later, friend?
Yes, please do. Enjoy the Insta. I'm sure I'll be watching it at some point.
Will do. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that's funny.
They were a family at Yes. Look at this.
We really are. I mean, that was not a planned call. No. That was an organic call.
It was.
With Jack, which is pretty amazing. By the way, I'm going to tweet out too that I'm doing IG Live with you right now, Meredith.
Oh, perfect.
Might as well let the people know. I love how, you know, it's funny. You started the YouTube show, right?
Right.
And little did you know that it was going to be the most necessary content for all of us and evolve completely instantly.
Oh my gosh, how about it? And I'm fortunate enough that I have some of the equipment because I had already been doing stuff for the past, that started in spring training, but I had been doing more social media overall over the last year and a half. So yeah. For me, it's a way to stay a little bit sane because you'll go stir crazy in your home by yourself. So while I don't have to be quarantined, I've been trying to stay inside as often as possible so as to try to protect others and really, you know, not expose others, not expose myself. So we hope that everybody is doing the same thing. You had mentioned you'd taken this time to get a haircut.
Yes.
It's time to not brush my hair. So.
Yeah. You know what? It's so funny because I feel like the next time I put on a collared shirt is going to be this like hard experience. I feel like because it's just been sweatpants and t-shirts all day long, and that's it. It's simple as that.
This is technically a dress, but I'm still wearing sweatpants.
That's the way to do it. Lucia? Yeah.
That was Waldman calling.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh. This is amazing. Your Yankee family really calls you nonstop. We're seeing that.
Cool, right?
Flat out. Very cool.
Hold on. Let me text her really quick so she's not like, what are you doing? What are you drinking there? What kind of red you got?
I got a little burgundy going tonight. Yes, which I love. I love red and white burgundy. So
Sarah Kustok.
Oh yeah, yes. Hi, Sarah. See, all of our friends, whether it's Susan Waldman calling you, or it's Jack Curry, or now it's Sarah watching here. Everybody's into it.
Now, obviously, some famous people, right? Not Waldman,
yeah, seriously.
Who's the last famous person to call you?
Ooh, that's a good question. Who is the last famous to call? By the way, I need to get you. Clearly have a stand that your phone's on, right?
Yeah.
I probably should have done this because I'm probably killing you with all of this going on. But I'll do my best to keep it steady.
Because I'm sure you're going to be doing more of this stuff as it's getting unfold. So I've literally kept this what I use to about 5 different people in sports that are all doing their shows from home. So it's kind of
fun. Interesting.
Yeah.
So it would probably be CeCe, just because if we want to count him, then I would say probably CeCe. Oh no, you know what? Actually, Doris Burke. If we're talking, Doris and I had a conversation yesterday for a while, just about everything going on and whatnot, and we were together, for that final game in Dallas. So I'd say she was the last one, probably.
That had to be a little surreal, that final game in Dallas, as all the news is coming out and unfolding. Just take us back there. What was that like doing that game?
It was weird. It was weird. It was like, what's funny is, like, because we were down in Tampa and we had kind of talked about, like, oh, how does this evolve? And, like, are we soon going to get to a place with no fans, et cetera, et cetera? And then, like, shortly after I left Tampa and I had a couple more NBA trips, I was like, just noticing as I'm traveling, like, it's feeling stranger and stranger. I was watching what was developing in Italy so closely that I was like, I know we are on the brink here of having to shut everything down. And Doris and I that Wednesday, I guess it was March 11th, we just basically went into the game saying, like, this feels different. This is probably going to be our last time doing a game with fans, even doing a game on site, because we were just anticipating, seeing the way everything was turning, that it was very quickly going to change, right? And then, we had said, and I think we all talked about this in anticipation, like, if some player gets it, boom, then it's going to shut everything down, And so early on in the game, Doris had kind of been on Twitter and saw what was developing in OKC and how they thought, someone might have had it, maybe Rudy Gobert. And then after it was confirmed, it just kind of, it became a different kind of broadcast, obviously. It became about news, it became about basically just trying to, in the most comforting way possible, deliver whatever the news was, and then still pay some attention to the action, but in a way that made sense.
While it was not the news that anybody really wanted, especially NBA and sports fans, but you really have to commend the NBA and acting pretty swiftly there. I mean, they made that decision pretty darn quick.
Yeah, and you know what's amazing too, Meredith? I agree with you, and it's also amazing how the decision that they made. Oh, I froze. Oh no. Wait, look.
There you go. Froze.
Okay, are we better? Good.
I think we're good.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, it's amazing though, right? Because you're right. Like NBA acted quickly. Thank God they did, because the whole world, or our country rather, pretty much takes its cue from the sports world. It seems, right? Like, seeing the NBA shut down sort of forced everybody else into more serious forms of action.
Right. And now, obviously, you mentioned Italy. We're both huge fans of traveling to
We
Italy.
love it. We love it.
Terrible things are happening over there. I know you and your lovely fiance were going to get married this summer in Italy. What are we doing? Is it happening?
We're keeping our fingers crossed, but basically right now. I mean, obviously, it certainly is in peril right now, to get married there this summer. But I think we pretty much have decided that if we have to postpone, we'll just do it next year, same time there. We love it so much. Like the venue we love, we love the country. We're getting married in the Amalfi Coast, which is actually where my grandfather's family's from. So that has added meaning, and like, but it's just, we've done basically, everything we need to do with the planning and the setup and whatever. And so it sucks. And it's definitely been an emotional roller coaster at times because, we were so excited. And at a moment where you are so jacked up for it, all of a sudden you pump the brakes on it. It can be sad, but the fact that obviously people are going through things that are much more dire than a wedding postponement, and seeing, the way everybody's life has been altered, I think has just made us come to a complete acceptance of, look, we're going to give it a little more time because there's no real harm to our guests in waiting a little longer. And then we'll see. And if we have to postpone, we have to postpone, and as simple as that. But if someone comes up with an antiviral that knocks this thing out in the next few weeks, then you know what? Yeah, exactly. Then we'll still have it in June. But otherwise, we'll wait a year, and I know then we'll be happy once it comes.
I'll go glass half full on you because I like to be positive.
I like it. Very good.
Positive.
I like it.
You used to spend all this extra time with your fiance where you have been traveling all over the country, all kinds of work. So hey, you spend a little more time. That's cool.
Yeah, you know what? It is, honestly. Like we, I'm lucky. She's amazing, and we get along incredibly well. We basically never, we just don't really fight ever. And so I think we both always are kind of longing for more of this time. So obviously, there's awful things going on, but we're trying to take this
circumstances.
But. Yeah. But to your point, we're trying to take the silver lining of like, hey, we get to spend this time together, and so, so it's actually been, it's been great so far. And trying to like, put a positive spin on what's otherwise a tough situation, obviously globally.
Now, somebody commented earlier, we used to love you on the Michael K. Show. Do you miss the Michael K. Show? What did you like about working on that show? Because it seemed like you guys always had a good time when you were a part of that show.
Yeah, you know what? I do. I will say I do miss it a little bit. Like I don't miss being on the air daily like that because it just was so many hours. And I'm always amazed at the way Michael is able to balance all the hours he puts into the show and into being the voice of the Yankees. It's incredible. Like when you think about it, you could not possibly handle both jobs better than Michael does. You couldn't. You really couldn't. And I saw like he would bring it every day, despite having the shared responsibilities. And I miss like kind of like we both know Michael's really, really funny. And like and so is Don. And as fun as it was just being on the air every day with them, the dynamic in the commercial breaks, I miss like
even
that.
Better, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It really goes down, right?
Oh, because they're so funny. Michael's one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life, period, the end. Not just in the sports business, just people. And, when you can just like have no boundaries to that humor, it's pretty great. So I miss that. I miss like that daily interaction with fans too. But I don't miss like having to go in every day and be on the air like that. That part of it I don't miss, but like getting to hang out with Michael and Don like that, I do miss that.
Somebody asked how you're feeling. You're feeling okay though, right?
Yeah, I feel great. I feel great, thank God. Yeah, so that's what I've said also throughout this. I'm like, hey, as long as I'm feeling good, like anything else, like the wedding plans, for example, you deal with that, you know, like, so I monitored, they had us, or they're having us take our temperature twice a day for anyone who traveled in the Nets party. And they told us basically like, hey, we want you to, you know, self-quarantine for 2 weeks, but really it's this window. It was like a 3 to 5 day window where you're most likely to have symptoms show up if you are. And gratefully, I felt great throughout that period. So, so I'm happy to report that.
Food that you couldn't live without over this quarantine period?
Man, that's a good question. You know, it's kind of weird, but I would say granola. Like, I don't know why. I love granola. I love granola, and I've kind of recently been on a like more of like a plant-based kick, and I have this like I have a couple different kinds of granola. One comes from this company called Sakara, and they do all like vegan meals that they deliver. You would love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Their stuff is incredible. And then they have a few different kinds of granola, which are like, it's just clean and it's great. And then I forget the brand. I've been using this other like low carb granola. That's just, it's awesome. So I'd say that, like, if I was just talking about like, I've been trying to eat clean just for like immune system purposes and whatever. I'd also say peanut butter. I love peanut butter. And like, that's like kind of something sweet right now. And then if it was just going to be my favorite food, period, it'd be pizza, which I did get Prince Street Pizza yesterday, and it was amazing.
So good.
It was so good. Yeah, it was great.
So another member of the Yes Network family checking in. He's probably going to be mad that I'm calling him out.
Oh, let's hear.
But Medvin texting me, really, with the granola, Ruocco? Really? Oh, Sue in the house. Hi, Sue.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Sue.
Oh, no, I did meet you. I met you at the, oh, God, what was that party in Seattle?
All-Star Party. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Sue hosted. Your brother was there, too?
Yes, and Danny was there. What's up, Ruocco, my guy?
Yes. Oh, hi, Danny. And Sue's waving back. Yeah, we did. That party was great.
It was.
And Troy was there with us,
Mm-hmm.
which was, I'll let in on a hilarious story from that party, okay?
Oh,
which
what?
is, it's slightly embarrassing for Troy, but like hilarious now. So we were like all talking, whatever. And, you know, Troy is up on all sports, right?
Yeah.
Troy Benjamin, our good friend, and also Yes Network producer. And Sue says, what up, Troy? So anyway, as we're having this epic party, I think it was at a place called M Bar, which is the rooftop.
Yes.
Yeah, there. Amazing spot. And Troy is like, it was like Brianna Stewart's rookie year. And she was putting up numbers, but I guess they weren't winning yet, et cetera, et cetera. And Troy asked me, he says out loud though to like me and Sue, he's like, what's up with Brianna Stewart? I thought she'd be playing great, dominating, whatever. As he's saying this in his loud voice, as he does, she's right behind him and is like, what are you talking about? She heard everything. And Troy's like, no, I'm just saying, like, you know, you're great. And I just, you know, obviously now Stewie's a finals MVP and a league MVP, and she's continued to dominate the basketball world. But it was hilarious to witness.
I bet you Troy doesn't remember that conversation either. He's like, no, that never happened.
Probably.
Now, did you stock up on the wine before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? So my good buddy Matthew Conway, who is head sommelier for Marc Forgione, my favorite restaurant, you know, he's amazing. And yes, as Sue remarks, that shut up Troy real quick. Yes, it did. But Matthew had stocked my wine fridge, like I want to say a month or two ago, and I have been traveling enough that we are in good shape. So gratefully, yeah, we're in good shape. And also, like, Andrea doesn't drink a lot at all, so it's basically just like, have you ever you have a Coravine? You ever gotten a Coravine?
People keep telling me to get one, and I should get one, but
yeah,
I haven't.
It's great because, like, let's say you just want to have a glass, you know? Well, you use the Coravine, and you could end up having, like, you know, wine for 4 days. You know, you could have that bottle for 4 days, 5 days, 7 days, whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Especially for people
fantastic.
that travel like us.
Yeah.
You're gone for 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
You're gone for a week.
Right, and honestly, you could drink it a month later too, and it's fine. But I'm just saying, if you're like, oh, you know, because once you open the bottle, you don't really want to. You want to use it within a day or two, maybe the third day at most. This way, if you're just drinking alone, I'm trying to have a glass a night, or you're gone, Coravine, I highly recommend.
And also, I don't think it's drinking alone anymore because I'm here and people have been FaceTiming a lot, having virtual happy hours.
Yeah.
It's cool to see how people are interacting and kind of making sure they get that personal connection despite not being able to actually go to the person's house or go out or go to a bar.
I'd love that. We had this week, we did a FaceTime date with Sue, Bird, and Megan, which was like, felt like just hanging. And then we did a FaceTime date with my sister and brother-in-law. And we played like games for 2 hours. And it was like, we just figured out like, what kind of games can you play on FaceTime, like board game type stuff? It was great. Like, it's funny because you actually feel like you're hanging. Like, it doesn't feel, you know what I mean? It actually still feels like a hang.
Disco says hello. He got Instagram yesterday just to watch these. How he
nice.
That out is beyond me.
I got to give a shout out to Disco. I got to.
That's my dad, for anyone that doesn't know. He can't work a TV remote. Love you, Dad. But somehow he's now on Instagram. Scary.
I love it. I love it. What up, Disco Dan?
Oh, my gosh. So, you know my friend Kelly.
Yeah.
3 kids, 2 little girls, big soccer fans. And I told Reagan, who just turned 6, we had a virtual dance party on her birthday.
Awesome.
That I know somebody that knows Megan Rapinoe. She was like, what? Tell me everything. I'm like, well, I don't know. I know. It was cool enough. Like, those degrees of separation were cool enough for a 6-year-old. So
you know what? You could tell her that Megan is amazing. She is honestly, she's just so freaking cool. Her and Sue both. They're just like they're just super cool people, you know? Like and Megan says hi. Hi, Meg. But which I think actually Sue and Megan, they started a little Instagram live show themselves. So
very cool.
People are going to need to check that out.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, for sure. But
asked me if I wanted to quarantine and chill.
Ooh, I don't know. Is that going to be the new thing? I think
not with that random person. Actually, I'm going to need a full resume. I'm going to need headshots. I'm going to need a definite, like, hey, I have no illness and I've been quarantined for 15 days.
Yeah, you're going to need a health chart for sure.
Then maybe I would go for a walk with you standing 10 feet away.
And maybe. Yeah. By the way, I saw that they changed the feet from 6 feet to 3 feet. Now it's like we don't. Yeah, I saw that from the World Health Organization, I think. So, I think they're going to need to. It's going to be a different kind of date, is what I'm trying to say.
But yeah, let's talk about something that's not my dating life, which clearly is doing really well during the quarantine. Your guy.
Oh, Andrew Eugene Pettitte.
Where did the love stem from? Because I know you get excited every time he's down at Yankee spring training.
Isn't it so funny now too? Because like it's the coolest thing to me. Like that now when I see Andy, I get to like dap him up, like and he'll give me a bro hug. It's like because obviously you doing this job now, you got to know.
You melt a little every time though.
I do. I melt a little every time. And I know he knows like that he's my guy, but like I love him. And but so here's how it started. 1995. I'm about to go to my second Yankee game ever. And I would always, if I was going to a game, this is what I did whenever I was, when I was going to games as a kid, right? And I would look up based on the schedule, like who was pitching what day. And if I was going to a game on this day, who would end up being the starting pitcher that day, And so I decided like a week before or something, it was either going to be Sterling Hitchcock or Andy Pettitte. It was a Yankees Angels game, I want to say in August of 95. And I had thought it was going to be Hitchcock. When I showed up, it was actually Pettitte. Yes, Andy threw an incredible game. He had like a no-hitter into the 6th inning. We had like just ridiculous seats. Like it was, like one of those times where you're a little kid and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe these seats, and for me, going to Yankee Stadium is always something cool. But like at that age, any game I went to, it was like if I was supposed to go to a game and it was a rain out, I would cry. That's going to a Yankee. Yeah, I really was I was just obsessed. So anyway, we go there, have these great seats. Andy throws amazing, and I just fell in love with him during that performance. And I was like, that's my guy. And I just kind of made that decision watching him pitch that game against the Angels in 1995. And from that moment forward, he was my dude. And I just rode hard with Andy throughout his entire career then. And I remember this is ridiculous, but it's true. I remember his final start of his career, the complete game he threw in Houston.
Oh, I was there.
You were there. Incredible. Yeah. I was on a plane, and I was following everything on GameCast, whatever. And I remember thinking, I probably will never care about an athlete and what they're doing this much again until my kids are competing in sports. Because, there's something about, I was still, 27 or however many years old I was, but there was something about, that's my childhood favorite player, still doing it. And, this is going to be the last time I feel disconnected in that kind of way, to an athlete until probably rooting for your kids,
That's pretty awesome. The first time you interviewed him or interacted with him, could you get words out, or were you super nervous?
I remember when it was. So
out a little bit.
The first time was actually not a work function. I can remember both, but the first time was actually in Disney at the ESPN club at the Boardwalk Hotel.
Okay.
I was staying there, and we just happened to see that they were doing a Q&A with Andy Pettitte the following night. Now, my parents knew, I'm obsessed with Andy Pettitte. I had, in my bedroom, my childhood bedroom, there was 12 plaques on the wall. 8 of them are Andy Pettitte plaques. No joke. I have, Andy Pettitte autographs everywhere, and I had, 3 or 4 shirts of just Andy Pettitte. Not just jerseys, shirts with, prints of, looks like almost like baseball card shirts. Anyway, so my mom and dad were like, hey, we know you got to be here tomorrow. So I go, they do this Q&A, and I go, I'm waiting in line, and his sons, Josh and Jared, were there, and I'm interacting with them as I'm waiting in line because they were kind of near there or whatever. And then I go up, and I got to meet him, sign my jersey. I got to ask him a question in the Q&A, but I just said, I was I just got to tell you, you're my favorite athlete in the world. Oh my gosh, I just love the way you compete so much. And yeah, exactly. And he could not have been nicer. Those stories when you meet your hero and you hope they are what. He literally could not have been kinder, more engaging, spent a couple minutes with me, even though there was a line. Couldn't have been better. He really, really was the class. I mean, he's just a great guy.
Yeah.
And he was the classiest dude. And then 2007, I'm doing Yankees beat reporting for WFUV. I'm 20 years old, and it's my first time in the clubhouse at Yankee Stadium. And I walk up to Andy, and we have been told and trained how to be professional, but I just couldn't help myself. So I walk up to Andy and I just say, hey man, I really shouldn't be doing this, but I just have to tell you, you're my favorite athlete of all time. I met you once when I was a younger kid. You could not have been nicer. I'm so appreciative of you, and I just wanted to say thank you. And I just did that. I was sweating, so freaking nervous as I walked away. But yeah, exactly. And then after that, it was just interviews and whatever, and professional after that. But he was always so good to me, and I'm always so appreciative of that.
Are you bored with this yet? Are you over it, or do you have time for more questions?
No, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Yeah.
Somebody wants to know top 3 R2C2 guests.
Ooh, okay. First of all, I think they're all like I've enjoyed. Everyone basically who's come on has been really good. Albert Pujols would be one of them. He was like an amazing storyteller this past year, and he just like really enjoyed it, which was great. So he would be one. This isn't a guest, but it's an episode. I loved when we did the Game of Thrones roundtable, and we had a bunch of guys from the team. It was really cool, and they were great. And then, so I've loved when we had Didi and Hicks on together, because as you know, they just love to like rag on each other.
Clown on each other.
Yeah, exactly. Voigt's been great. But I think I will there's probably ones I'm forgetting that were like awesome.
Yeah.
Because these guys, Cece has the kind of personality where they just open up. So most people come on. Sue's one of my favorites. She's been on a few times and she's amazing. But because she's a close friend, I'll put her to the side for a moment. And I'll say Gardy. Like, I didn't realize Gardy is an amazing storyteller.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like, and it's funny because Cece makes fun of him because he's like, his stories take forever or whatever, but they're great. But like, it's perfect for a podcast. Like, absolutely perfect. So I would say like Gardy, I can't wait to have on again this year because his storytelling's amazing.
So you're keeping R2C2 going though through all this, right? You're trying to do it remotely now?
Yeah, we are. So we're actually going to record on, I mean, as of now, we're going to release new episodes every Thursday. And I think C and I are just going to record every Wednesday just so it's most immediate with the way things are changing, But I think this Wednesday we're actually going to have Zach Britton on.
Okay.
So we'll release that episode Thursday. But yeah, it's easy. We both have these Yeti microphones that actually create pretty good quality. And it's like, shoot, we might as well. Like, I mean, honestly,
else to do.
right. We're all looking for ways to try and create content, right? So, I mean, I'm still curious, Meredith, to give our audience like a little behind the scenes stuff. I'm curious if we end up doing anything with Yes, just with our, what we have technologically capable,
It's funny you asked that, Ryan Ruocco, because we're actually going to be rolling out some stuff on our digitals tomorrow. So everybody make sure that...
See, there we go.
Yes, make sure that you are following the Yes Network on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're going to have some fun stuff, hopefully rolling out some original content, some new content. I am expecting to speak to a Yankee, so we're associated with the Yankees, so we'll see. Hopefully that happens, but yeah, we're trying to get some stuff going just to give people a little bit of normalcy in these crazy times. If they're able to, hear a little bit about baseball, maybe it'll be soothing in some way, shape, or form.
I think it is. I also think there's something that you just, you connect with the people who you see every day, So for us, we're, broadcasting every day. I mean, for you, especially during a baseball season, right? And just like there's something that triggers normalcy because it's so ingrained in our normal routine, that I think it brings some comfort just when you see anybody who you're used to seeing on a daily basis doing their normal thing,
Do you ever wake up and just start doing play-by-play? Like you missed it so much.
What's funny is like Andrea she sometimes will like joke and like say like do play-by-play of this or whatever. So if I'm like, 6'2" man walking down the left side of the street, bearing left as he walks into the Adidas store, whatever, just like doing these little kind of things. And we were saying the other day, like I should just start posting some videos of me doing play-by-play for like doing random stuff around the apartment. And then I saw today that Joe Buck tweeted out, like, send me your videos. I'll do play-by-play of them. And I was like, all right, Joe Buck's got this. Joe Buck's got this. He's got it under control. So what I did think in all seriousness is I was like, this is a rare opportunity to really, rest the voice. Like when do we have this opportunity to like just chill, have the pipes chill out? So from that standpoint, I'll be raring to go and call the game whenever that time comes. But I'm trying to think of like, oh, okay, I'll just enjoy having my voice rest in the interim.
Do you remember every word you said for the call on the Aaron Hicks catch in Minnesota during that ridiculous game?
Oh man, I think I probably do. If I say Hicks on the run, dives, he made the play, he made the catch. Oh my goodness, what a play from Aaron Hicks to win it. And then I think I said 14-12 the final. And there might be something else in there, but then I said, I think, a fitting finish to an unforgettable night. And I always remember anything I say that has alliteration because I have a permanent man crush on alliteration. So if I say anything that, well, first of all play-by-play guys are keenly aware of their calls. Like, let's just be honest. We are.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Yeah,
you remember
we are.
Some more so than others, especially
yes.
in the comments, I would think.
100%. So that one I remember. So there might be something in there, but I think I remember most of it. Yeah, especially the alliteration.
Was that your favorite call, or is there another call that you enjoyed more than that?
That's my favorite game I've ever called.
Because there was a home run out in Seattle that was monstrous.
The home run in Seattle with Judge in 2017 is my favorite call, because it was like, you know what I feel? I feel like it was like so spontaneous and like it was like this awe, because that season for all of us, right? It was like just this ridiculous awe of what Aaron was doing, you know? And so I feel like that one was like very much, I just kind of was like, oh my gosh, look at what this beast just did, you know?
Do this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I think that one's my favorite. The Yankees-Twins game is my favorite game, but the Judge call is my favorite call.
Mike Medvin, Gary Sanchez in 2016, the monster eating or something like that was good.
Yes, I like that one too. Thank you, Mike. That was when Gary was going off on that West Coast trip.
Oh,
and I said, this monster keeps eating. Yeah. I'm glad Medvin brought. See, Medvin's really he's done a nice job for this with us.
He's home with 2 kids. He's looking for some extra entertainment. Perhaps trying to restore some sanity. Hey, I wanted to revisit something with you because you talked about your favorite restaurant in the city. You did a pretty cool thing in trying to post about how you can support your local restaurants, whether you're in New York or somewhere else. Do you still have that website that people can donate money, or how does that work?
Yes. So there actually is. You know what? What I'll do is I'll send them to. I'll actually send them to just Mark Forgione's Instagram, because he has links to everything.
Oh, great.
So there's legislation if people want to like sign, like there's a change.org petition. There's also, I believe, maybe some other form of legislation, but just to try and or like there's some other sort of prompts to try and tell people like, hey, if you want hospitality to be part of this buyout, you know, not just Forge itself, but you know, any restaurant that you are a fan of or a supporter of, this is a way to get it in the arms, you know, of the people, etc. So I would say, you know, definitely if you could go to Mark's Instagram, which is MarcForgione, Mark Forgione. He has all the links you need there, including a GoFundMe page for his restaurant. But I would just say, for anyone out there who has the cash to, you know, dispose of in some way right now, we obviously know a lot of people are out of work. They're going to need their money just to make sure they have essentials, right? And they have the food they need, etc. So that's a different case. But if you happen to be someone who's still getting paid or who has some extraneous cash, support those local restaurants and businesses that are closed right now. Buy gift cards for them right now that you can use later on, because they need the money. Or a lot of them have GoFundMe pages up to try and pay their staffs, because, you know, it is amazing how many people in the hospitality business have been laid off in the last week. It's so sad, because these restaurants, these businesses have had to close, and they just haven't been able to retain these employees. So if there's any way to support, you know, the people in the hospitality business who you care about, who you love, you know, patronizing, this is the time to do it. So I would encourage everybody to look into that.
Now, you're a man with a million jobs.
Yes.
Boxing, WNBA, NBA, MLB. I know you like them all, and you take pride in all of them. But if you had to pick one,
oh no, it's so hard. I know this is such a cop out, but like, so, like, it's different in different ways, I'd say. So like, the coolest thing about doing a national NBA game is like when you go in for ESPN and that, it feels big, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like you feel like such a part of the fabric and the community of basketball, and you're greeted in like a very welcoming way by the coaches and the players of the other team who you talk with, whatever. And I love that feel. Boxing, I had no idea I would love, you know, but I love how, like, when you sit down to do an event, when I sit down for DAZN and I'm doing boxing and I'm sitting ringside, like, it feels so big and there's so much energy, you know. With the nets, for me, it's very familial. You know, I started doing nets when I was 23 years old. That was my first foray into professional sports. Like, it feels like comfort and it feels like home. And then for the Yankees, it's sort of a combination of everything, you know. It's like, it feels familial for me because I've been a part of the Yankee family in one way or another since I was 20 as an intern with Yes, yeah, or 19 as an intern with Yes, 20 doing stats, then being the scoreboard host. Plus, I've just been a diehard Yankee fan since I'm 4 years old, and Meredith can attest, I'm still a Yankee fan and a diehard one. And like, so it's just like, feels like, and it feels big because it's the Yankees, you know? So I know it's a cop-out answer. I don't know if I could choose one. They all connect with me emotionally in different ways, you know? Like, I love them all. I really do. But I always say this. I have never gotten on a plane not excited for where I was going. And that's why I feel lucky. Like, there's nothing I don't enjoy. Like, when I do the WNBA playoffs and the finals and you're in the midst of a series and getting to frame championship moments, like, it's so cool, you know? Like, so I know it's a cop-out answer, but I love them all. I really do.
I believe you too, though. I really believe you. I don't think it's just a company line.
No, it's really not. And you know what it is too, Meredith. Like, when we're in this business, we're all family, right? Like, so you travel with these people and you're around them all the time and you're grabbing a drink after the game. I mean, think about our wine sessions with me and you and Bolin and Medvin, like, you know, and Coney, and it's just like you feel like you're a part of a family. So, like, for all of them, like, I mean, hanging out with Doris Burke, like, I just feel like such a part of a family with everyone, you know?
Is anything else on your mind before we wrap up your first Insta Live with me? I'll be here all week if you're bored.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
Same spot.
Yeah, we'll be able to do some more of these in the coming days, right? No, you know what? I would just say, like, you know, for all of our viewers, listeners, you know, who are either watching this now or are going to, like, you know, really obviously take this seriously, you know, the social distancing, the, you know, really limiting your contact beyond the people who you live with. This is a time where, you know, it's odd, right? Because there's horrible circumstances right now and there's scary circumstances right now, but there's also this beauty of us all being in this together, you know, and there's something amazing about seeing, you know, our environment healing and seeing people reconnecting in different ways and valuing just getting a couple minutes of sunshine or fresh air or reading a book or, you know, taking a class they weren't going to take or whatever it might be, or just pausing, you know, like for people like me and you who are on the go constantly, just pausing, you know, spending time with a loved one that they haven't gotten to, you know, there's so much beauty in this time as a silver lining. And, you know, let's appreciate that. We're all going to get through this. We're going to get to the other side of it. In the meantime, find that joy and that peace and that beauty in each day, and also be respectful of how what all of us do affects everyone around us. So when you're social distancing, it's not really just about protecting yourself. It's about the good it does for our community. So take it seriously. Let's take care of each other, and let's all come out on the other side even more appreciative of the normal that we get back to.
That is a great message. I couldn't agree with it more. I hope everybody really takes it seriously and abides by all the guidelines that are out there right now. And Ryan, I must say, I look forward to working with you at some point in time.
I know. Oh, me too. I can't wait, Meredith. It's crazy that we have to wait. We'll see if I still have the buzz cut then or if we go back. But I hope, I sincerely hope we're back out doing it soon because we love what we do. And we know it's it was, an exciting season on tap. So whenever it starts, I think we're all going to be just so appreciative and fired up. And I can't wait for it to happen. And thank you for creating this platform for us to have these conversations.
You're welcome. Really
live with Mer
here.
I love it.
Thanks for joining me. Thank you, everyone who watched this, and please tell Andrea I said hello.
I will. Thank you, Meredith. Stay safe, and we'll do it again soon.